call yourself a free spirit, a wild thing, and you're terrified somebody's gonna stick you in a cage. Maybe you're already in that cage. You built it yourself.
Hello, it's Ivy here today and welcome back to my channel. Today we have another Faith Fridays video, and today we're going to get straight on into the video. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that is so near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about all things insecurities, knowing your worth, feeling good in yourself, just overall like a mental glow up, because I talk all about physical glow ups and loving yourself and loving your body as it is. Obviously, if you found my channel, you've probably seen me through a lot of weight gain videos, fitness videos that I have done, loving your small boobs. But I also am such a big believer in mentally glowing up as well as physically glowing up. So we are gonna be talking about that. I just want to, I guess, create a really safe space for us as women to talk about these things and talk about it from the perspective of faith. You can leave your comments down below of your journey or tips that you have for other people, or just encouraging comments, not just for me, but like for other people out there that are also watching this video or part of the comment section down below as well. Like I said before, I obviously do a lot of weight gain videos and body glow up, fitness kind of videos. I think they're so important. I feel like it's so important to look after your health all the time. But also in saying that, I just find that you have to have the right mindset and attitude towards yourself for sure, especially when you're on a fitness journey or weight gain journey or anything like that, because sometimes you can really get to this point where you're in the middle of this weight gain journey and you've done so amazing, you've done so well, gained a lot of weight, you look so different from where you were before, but you don't feel happy with yourself because you find new insecurities to pick on yourself on, or just get frustrated that what you do is not enough. And I feel like really challenging yourself mentally and thinking about the things that you say to yourself is so important whilst amongst the fitness journey as well. You never want to get to this point where you finally reach your goal and you're just like not happy with yourself, or you just find more things to criticize yourself about. Growing up, I have always been incredibly insecure, like next level insecure. I feel like I genuinely had a problem with me, and I was constantly negative on myself, constantly down on myself. I had insecurities about literally everything. My physical body, because I was skinny, petite, I didn't have any boobs growing up. I was insecure about, like my appearance, my personality. I was so insecure about the fact that I had a stupid laugh, or I was just so shy, so quiet, all these different things. I didn't have the confidence to talk to people. I was insecure about my relationship with my parents. Like, my parents were really strict on me growing up, so I couldn't go out and do a lot, and so I was really insecure about that. I was like insecure about the fact that all these people had more experiences than me and were able to experience so much more of life than me, were able to go to parties, go to the beach with their friends, had their pee plates when they were young, and I wasn't allowed to do any of that. So I was so insecure about everything. Like, I really just disliked myself, and I really always wished that I could be someone else. It may not be visible to you physically right now, but I feel like I've definitely come such a long way in my confidence and my journey of learning to love myself. I find that confidence doesn't just come from faking it till you make it. It comes from actually like loving yourself internally and really accepting yourself for who you are. That's enough about me. I've just found that I really feel like this is something that's so strong in my heart that I want to share, because especially to girls these days, like, it's so great that we have the internet, that so many girls are actually posting videos and lengthy Instagram captions about learning to love yourself and be confident in yourself and your body, and sharing their insecurities. I think it's amazing, because when I was in high school, I didn't have this at all, like this kind of platform. A lot of people were too shy or too scared to talk about their insecurities and things like that on the internet back in like, what, 2010, 2012 and stuff like that. Like, it was such a different time when I was in high school. Oh my god, I actually sound like I'm so old. I feel like it is so different. Girls literally have their phones with them 24/7, document everything. I'm sure guys do that too. They have phones as well. They want to document their lives on Instagram and TikTok and try to show each other and try to be like popular and cool and try to show that they're living the best life, but in reality it's just, that's not actually always how it is, and people always just fall for the tricks of what you see online, and you feel so crappy about yourself and you feel so diminished in your spirit because you just feel like you're just not good enough. And I'm just here to tell you that that's so incorrect. A lot of people don't actually realize how much they're worth because of insecurities that they have in themselves, and these insecurities come from things that you've experienced, like say you've had bad relationships with your parents or bad relationships with friends or boys, and it just hurts you. It hurts you so bad, and that just happens, but you kind of just sell yourself for something of much lesser value because you think that's how much you're worth, but in reality you're not. It's just so sad to me because I see girls DM me and they constantly bag themselves out, or in the YouTube videos, especially like with the weight gain videos, they say things like, I'm so ugly, I'm so short, I'm so skinny, I hate the way my body looks, I hate my boobs and all that stuff, and it makes me so incredibly sad because I don't know you, but I'm sure you are beautiful. I'm sure that there's something about you that is special and amazing. You don't have to constantly bag yourself out, and I feel like that's just such like YouTube culture. People constantly put themselves down as well. Like, I get it, that's how you feel about yourself, but you shouldn't look at yourself in that way. Insecurities and not knowing your worth is what gives girls the reason to keep going back to guys that keep hurting them over and over and over again. They don't know how much they're worth. They're literally worth gold, but they just keep throwing themselves at guys that are literally not worth your time. It's that cycle or that mindset that keeps girls from going to guys that keep playing them, going to guys that are talking to all these different girls, even though they already know it, they just keep going there. Or even girls going back to girlfriends who treat them like crap. Toxic friendships can just be as bad as bad relationships or a guy who's a player. Toxic friendships can really hurt you, and sometimes you need to actually know your worth to get out of these kind of relationships that are hurting you the most. But yeah, I can go on about the many reasons why it's so important to know your worth and know your value and all that stuff. I more so want to talk more about like things that you can do to have a mental glow up, to really help yourself. Like I said before, I genuinely just believe that like people are actually going through so much mentally, and it can be so hard to live in your head for sure. But I feel like God has one message for us, and He's always had the one message for us ever since the dawn and the beginning of time. It's that God sees all of you. He sees every single bit of you, all the good things and the bad things, the insecurities, the things that you like about yourself, the incredibly horrible things you said, done, thought, all those different things, and He still loves you for who you are. Once you realize just how much you're worth, and not just realize it in the way of like being cocky, but instead confident, you'll make such different life choices. God does think that you're literally the best thing in the world, and that's something that I kind of want to really reiterate before I actually get into the mental glow up tips. I think to have a mental glow up, firstly, you need to identify what it is you're really insecure about. Really think about the things that you are insecure about, and don't dwell on them, but think about it. Think about why you are insecure about things. Think about where this insecurity started from, and develop a new mindset around that situation or thing that made you insecure in the first place. This is so silly, but I watched Pretty Little Liars the other day and the psychologist in the TV show, she was talking about reframing the way that you see a situation. I studied psychology at university, and this was such a big thing that they taught us as well. Reframing things that you think. I think is such a big way to deal with anxieties, insecurities. So you take a situation that made you insecure or anxious in the first place and think about it, but then kind of remove yourself from the situation and think about it in a way that you've never seen it before, thus reframing the situation and seeing it in a different light. Another way to glow up mentally is a social media tip. I think that is so important, that I have found that helps for me so much, is I always talk about doing social media detox, and I think it's so important for sure. But also another really big tip that I have, and this is so mean and savage, but unfollow everyone that makes you really insecure. Like, take your phone out, go through your following list. If you find people on there that when you look at their content, you feel really crap about yourself because you're just not living the life that they are, or you don't look like them. I, like, for example, have to follow and unfollow Kendall Jenner every now and then, on and off, because I just can't stand looking at her feed sometimes, and that's just me being completely honest. I don't mean to be mean or rude to Kendall Jenner. Like, I love her, that's why I follow her on Instagram, but also she's incredibly rich and she's a model and she's skinny and beautiful and tall, and it can be so hard for me to look at her life sometimes and feel good about myself. Sometimes, say she'll be taking a trip to Paris and she lives the high life in Paris, I'll have to like actually unfollow her just because I will die of jealousy or will feel so crappy about myself for the rest of the day when I look at her posts. So I think it's so important to people's feeds that make you really insecure. I feel like it is warranted to unfollow them if you need to, if it gives you a bit of a mental break in a way. Another tip, mental glow up tip that I have is identifying your language and changing it up a bit. I always talk about this, but it's so important to talk to yourself kindly. I used to talk to myself so meanly. I was literally my own bully. I would say things like, oh, like you're so skinny, you've got no boobs, you've got such a big Filipino nose, you have such crooked teeth, and all these things. And I used to get so insecure just because I was talking to myself like that. Like no one is even saying, well, in high school some people were saying those things, but like no one other than that was saying these things to me. I was just thinking them myself, and then I would feel so crappy about it. Once you identify your language and kind of see where you are talking to yourself negatively, then obviously you change it up and start saying things to yourself like, you are beautiful, you're all this and that. And I know it looks so silly to some people when you're talking to yourself in the mirror, like it feels so silly, but it actually does help a lot with mindset things and learning to love yourself and value yourself even more. I think when you talk to yourself and you talk to yourself in the way that is so kind and that you really value yourself, it's kind of almost like a really close friend speaking to you in that kind of way. Just imagine like a really nice close friend speaking nice things over you, like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so smart. You just feel so much better about yourself. It might feel a bit weird at first because you feel a bit cocky or up yourself saying these things to yourself, but in the end, that's what will help you level up mentally and I guess know your worth even more and value yourself even more. And also to lastly, more so dwell on the things that you like about yourself. This is kind of like the same thing that I said earlier, but rather than thinking about things negatively about yourself and dwelling on that, think about the things that you actually like about yourself and dwell on that. And yeah, that is the end of the video that I have for you guys. I really hope that this is somewhat helpful in a way. I kind of obviously want to do these Faith Friday videos because I want to help people not just, like I said before, glow up physically but also mentally. Leave a comment down below of any video ideas that you want me to do for the next up and coming Faith Fridays. I hope you are all well. Follow me on my Instagram if you haven't already. It's at ivy_Nicole with 2 E's, and subscribe to me on YouTube if you haven't already. I post a new video every Tuesday and Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful day or wonderful night wherever you are. Bye!
But if that catch is too small, I'ma throw it back. I've done a lot, but I ain't got a lot to show for that. I've done a lot, but I ain't got a lot to show for that. So if they show love, I'ma show it back. If the catch